Now we are coming. This time round, we are going to look at what we know by a usual thing, that is information sources. Under information sources, by definition, an information source is just a material or a record, a document that provides the knowledge or data on a particular subject and event. Now, they are so much important in our life in the way that we can use it for making research. When you want to make a research as a student, you need to find a source of information on which you are making research on and inquiries, as well as in decision making. When you make decision, uh, also information sources are essential because we may decide wrongly on what we can do according to the wrong information source. Now, information sources are divided into two types, may either be primary or secondary. Let's look at the primary source of information. When we say a source of information is primary, means it is direct or first hand piece of evidence that might have been created during the time of an event or by someone who was involved in the event. It has not been altered or interpreted by any other person. That's when we can call it a primary source of information, and someone who directly experienced this event can give account better, and it is a primary source. Now let's look at secondary source. No, I mean the examples of these primary sources. We have like the historical, legal, published, family, personal letters, and newspapers or magazines that have been created during the time that event is uh, occurring. We also have creative works, like someone making his or her poem. You just imbue it from your mind. Now, after which other people may either criticize, give explanation to it, forming other sources of information. That is secondary or tertiary. Our hard works, composition, when we are composing songs, those are examples of primary sources of information. Interviews and testimonies, and as well our scientific, the raw data from scientific experiment. Like the past scientists that came with other discoveries, the discoveries that they made during the initial time before any other person translator gives an expansion in the idea forms a primary source. Now let's look at the characteristics of primary uh, sources of information. We say they are original. Being original means that originality means these primary sources of information that provide a first hand a piece of information in a direct and unaltered format. They are unmediated means it has not been interrupted or analyzed by someone, and uh, it is it is prepared nearly at the same time as an event happens, because the advantage of these sources is some of the historians use the original records to understand the past events, because it gives us better explanation and more so details of events that might have been on, other hidden details that might have been or that might have occurred but not we can might be eliminated in secondary sources of information or other sources of information. Also in research. Let's look at the only disadvantage is that they are incomplete because of other reasons and biasness can be placing and without understanding the background you cannot understand what maybe a source is speaking about, so it requires some expertise. Thank you. Let us move to the other chapter of secondary sources of information as we meet in our next lesson.